Alrighty guys, we're doing Inktober Day 5, which is build. But first, let's go over Day 1, which was ring. So I did a witch, surrounded by a ring of magic, casting a spell. I mean, pretty simple, but it was my first time using just black and white on paper, so that was a challenge. Day 2 was mindless, which was a puppet, mindlessly killing people. We're not sure if she's so mindless. Day 3 was bait. So I went pretty literal with this one, and drew bait on a hook. And then Day 4 was freeze. A graffiti artist caught in the act, freezing for the cops. And that is Day 1 through 4. So let's get into Day 5, which is build. So here we go. My idea was just doing kind of a construction worker. I had a bunch of other ideas, but I didn't really like them as much, and I didn't really record the sketching process because my sketchbook is super messy right now. But yeah, so I did this construction worker. Maybe her clothes are not quite cut out for the job, but here she is anyways, carrying a wooden pole on her way to work or whatever she's doing. And yeah. This Inktober is the first Inktober I've ever done. I have never really used just pens and ink before, especially only doing black and white with hatching. Hatching is something I've never actually done before this challenge, and I think the first time that I used it was in the piece for bait. So this will have been, let's see, the third piece I've ever used hatching in. So that's pretty interesting. And yeah, so what I did was I did a base inking with the thinnest line that I was going to use, which was a 0.005 micron. And then I went back with a 0.2 micron, just kind of giving in some thicker lines like on the outline and where shadows might be, just emphasizing certain things. And I don't normally play with line work, but I figured might as well. It's Inktober, time to focus on my line art. So yeah. And then you can see me start to do hatching. With this piece in particular, I was using a ruler. With bait, I used a ruler for some parts, and then I did not for others, because I did the base with a ruler and then decided there's no way I'm going to be able to finish this if I keep using a ruler. It's going to take hours, and this is only the size of an index card. So, yeah, not really worth it. But with this one, as you can see, I just did a very, faint kind of background. I started to break the lines to hopefully, give the idea that this background is a gradient that's fading off into light. Maybe it's during sunset or something. I wasn't really thinking about it. I just thought it looked cool. Yeah, so then I did the outline of that, and yeah, because the rest of it, as you'll see later, will be colored in black in the background. The circle was kind of difficult to do, but I did use a compass to first trace it out, so all I had to do was really just trace over that line. Plus I could correct it with the black ink when I used my brush pen a little later. And then I did cross-hatching, so I just went the opposite direction that I did before, and which was vertical to horizontal, and went from there. Yeah, so pretty much with this one, I didn't have a whole lot of ideas. The first idea that I had was a kid building a story with Legos, but that didn't really quite go through. At least through to sketch. So I decided to not necessarily do that. And then I had the idea of an Instagram model wearing building clothes, and I kind of just went off of that. So that's where this idea came from. There was no particular Instagram model that this is based off of, which is why I did not include it in any kind of references in my post or anything about it, because it wasn't really necessary. Then as you can see, I needed more contrast in the drawing between her and the background because she's so light against a light background that I decided to do some hatching to give her shirt a little bit of a darker tone, and then I did some hatching for the shadows. And when I did that, I accidentally took the picture out of frame, so yeah, oops. But yeah, thank you so much for my patron, RudyLee420, and all of you guys for all the support. If you want to keep seeing speed paints, please, please, please like and subscribe. I'll see you for day 10.